Yes.
It was.
So getting back to how Mouse ruined comics.
Okay.
All right, 30 seconds. Your 30 seconds are up. No more boomer music.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
It is Wednesday. It is another episode of the Mattriarchy. I am, as per usual, your host, Matt Rhys. I am coming to you from beautiful, sunny, and windy Scottsbluff, Nebraska. Now, I was out on my bicycle earlier today, and I tell you what, that was obnoxious. That was hard riding. I'm a big guy. I'm like a sail heading into the wind. It was obnoxious, but it was okay. It was okay. I need the exercise. I got to lose all my winter pie. I need to burn that off, so I'm prepared. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right. Dave is here, so
Dave
we are not alone in chat. Awesome.
There. So, now we are today talking to Comics Creators Club. We've got Atomic Mole to share Saving the World, which I'm excited to talk about, and we're supposed to have any minute. We should have Scott from the Flock here to talk with us as well. But Scott's not here yet. So I thought I'd open up some mail on screen. And I thought that'd be some good television.
Only here on the Mattriarchy. Live mail opening.
It came in the post. I got this big old box in the post, and I think I know what it is, but I'm going to open it up anyway.
Okay, what we're supposed to do is we call this an unboxing video, and then we get a million views. Okay, that's how we do that.
It's not just opening the post.
Yeah. If you just say I'm opening my mail, no one cares. If you say
I don't believe
this
is a bill.
Live unboxing this moment.
Right.
Oh, it's all right. Oh man. Holy cow, that's fancy for one of these.
What should be like you're being audited by the IRS?
I was expecting this large box here.
This large thing that looks like a Gemini mailer.
It came in wrapped in paper here. This is here we go.
Oh,
dang.
Yeah. This is bigger than I thought it was going to be. But that's cool.
Is that the
It's the Golden Age Shazam right there, Captain Marvel. And it's got this cutout hardcover. Look at this thing. Yeah. So this is a book all about the Golden Age comics and the Ephemerma. It's a resource for a paper I'm writing. So I found one on sale and I bought it. This was I paid like $20, less than $20 for this puppy.
Nice.
Right? Yeah.
That's very nice.
That's what she said, Dave said. Yes, women are always impressed by my hardback books. My wife is like, do we really need more books? And I'm like, yes.
Who's doing it?
Never have enough.
Who's at a piano recital?
That's a good question.
Music in the background. Give me a second.
No, it's lovely. It's just like it's bringing way too much culture to our pop culture show.
So Taylor says getting started early today. No, we're actually on time, sort of. We're just not as late as normal.
Yeah, we're almost on time. Yeah.
The other one, I got something from Texas.
Taylor says this is the sound of the fresh market. Only at the finest grocery stores do you get classical music.
What's a fresh market?
Oh gosh, that's right. You live in Nebraska. You know, your food is shipped to you, unless it's beef or grain, right?
Some of it we grow in our backyard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but you don't know what a banana is unless you get it mailed to you.
Nobody knows what banana is unless it gets mailed to. There's only they actually here's the thing about bananas, Twitless. Here's Scott's here. I'll let him on.
Okay.
Here's the thing about bananas, Twitless. Because of the careless practices of banana growers in the mid 20th century, we only have one species of banana that came from one specific genetic strain of seedless bananas. If ever a fungus develops that's focused on that banana, there will never be bananas again.
I'm sure science will find a way.
So don't talk. There are actually very few. We'll
get some weird clone bananas. It'll be great.
Some weird clone bananas. So anyway,
So
I got-
is this an intense conversation about bananas?
yes,
I mean, we were waiting for you to show up, so we were trying to
we're just killing time while we're waiting for you.
bottom of the barrel. What are our conversation topics? What do we got?
We're talking about bananas and pajamas.
Are coming down the
Ooh,
stairs.
That's classic.
Here.
Oh, you got
Daniel
Long
says,
Harbor? I have Long
That
Harbor.
fungus already exists. Oh, that's terrifying.
Jeez.
Here's another little thing about bananas. So you guys know how banana pudding doesn't really taste like bananas.
Mm-hmm.
The synthetic flavoring was designed to taste like the old dominant strain of bananas that is now extinct. So banana pudding, banana Laffy Taffies, they're all supposed to taste like bananas used to taste like. Hey, look, it's Long Harbor, guys.
Yeah, I've got that too. I can't wait to. I'll be reading it this
So
this week.
that's what came in the mail today with some stuff. But I also read. Oh my goodness! Am I the only one? Have you guys read the new Rags number 8 yet?
I'm trying to get it downloaded, but it won't download for me.
That's the saddest thing, man. I read that. It is so good.
I haven't gotten a chance to yet. No.
I got it. I read it just a little bit earlier, but man, I like the first season of Rags, but like number 8, like it feels like you've kind of hit a whole new gear, but
Yes.
like the absurdity level up like 2,000%. Man, I love the hell out of it. It's my favorite issue so far.
It's so bizarre, and yet it still like fits inside of its lane. You know what I'm saying? Like it's still
Right.
it's like all of the stuff that you're like, there's no way he makes this work. Oh my god, he made it work.
That's exactly right. Because I was kind of worried because I was like, he's introducing a lot of his crazier stuff, and I was like, I don't know about this, but no, it works so well. It is my favorite issue.
It's so meme packed. It's amazing. And I said this in my mini review. The perfect was that not the perfect cliffhanger?
Yeah.
I got to that last page and it quit scrolling, and I'm like, oh god damn it, Brian, you telling me this is the end?
Isn't there supposed to be like 6 issues to this?
Yeah, it's a
crossover
story.
that they're doing.
Yeah, it'll be like 5 or 6 issues, but
Right.
Nice.
All right, let's bring this Comics Creators Club to order.
you got yourself a gavel.
I can try. I don't have a soundboard. I'm not. I need to get one.
Just Google the Law and Order sound.
Dong dong. Yeah. So yeah, I need to get a soundboard, and then I don't know. Then I can play a bunch of dumb noises. Okay, so yeah, Comics Creators Club. So we're talking 2 comics as usual, and the comics we're talking today are The Flock, issue 2, right? I think it's issue 2. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And then we're doing Saving the World, and that is issue. Was it 6? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's what we're doing. Both of them. So the theme is still a superhero book. So for our last, that was a similar theme to what we had for our last Comics Creators Club. So we're definitely, if you like superhero books, you're in the right place. But we do lots of things at the Comics Creators Club. So whatever is your scene, we'll definitely hit it at some point. And that's another thing that is interesting.
We need to get some westerns in here. That's all I'm saying.
Jack Irons.
Yeah, there's a couple guys, I think. Yeah, I think we get some.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is the fact that both The Flock and Saving the World, they're both superhero books, but they're both, I would, because superhero is like a very broad umbrella. I would personally, I would say that I was definitely getting the Tick vibes, if you know what I'm saying. From both of these books. There's definitely superhero stuff going on, but there's a lot of humor. There's a lot of meta kind of humor going on. And so I was very much, and I love The Tick, by the way, the comic and the cartoon show. So that is high praise to be in the same neighborhood as The Tick. So that's some good comics.
Wonderful. It's always good to hear.
Flock City was Maple City, and Saving the World takes place in Maplewood City.
Yeah, I thought that was on purpose. I thought that was on
awesome.
purpose.
That's together.
Yeah, I did. I noticed that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, is this part of a shared universe or something? Is there an Easter egg I don't know about?
No.
Soon,
But that's awesome, though.
Right. Pure coincidence.
Pure coincidence. Okay, well, you know
And
what?
isn't Maple City supposed to be like a Canadian or some such?
Yes, it is a Canadian city. But the funny thing is, though, I created issue 2 while eating pancakes, so that's how it turned out.
That's
You were
funny.
drunk on flapjack.
Oh, yeah.
Is that possible? Don't answer that question. Can you get drunk on maple syrup and pancakes? I don't know.
I don't
We're
know.
about to
I
find
did.
out tonight.
I was at the
Hmm.
Walmart. I was at the Walmart over the weekend with the wife, and
Were you taking her out on a night on the town? We're gonna
no,
go
we,
to the.
we were just well, first of all, we're
I'm gonna-
the kind of married that just being together is
Oh,
magical.
That's okay.
But that wasn't it. Especially since the kids are old enough to like leave alone. They're
Okay.
grown up now, but it's for the last 5 years they've been totally old enough to take care of all of their needs, and so it's been like, hey, we're gonna abandon our children for 3 hours and go fart around town. It's magical. But we were at the Walmart and getting groceries, and we walked by to pick up the oatmeal, and there was the syrup aisle is the same as the cereal aisle, right? And they had bourbon barrel aged maple syrup, and they were selling it for like $20 a bottle.
Oh
I'm
wow!
like, that's as much as a bottle of bourbon. Well,
So-
depending on the bourbon, right? But
Yeah. Where I work, that's like one of the biggest sellers because we go by cases of that. But the problem is that you can only in our county you're able to buy cases, but in other counties you can only buy 2 bottles at a time a day. So it's like, oh my gosh, it's insane.
Isn't it? It would
People
be
buy a
cheaper
lot
to
of it.
get like Evan Williams than it would be to go through that much syrup.
People buy a ton of that. It's insane.
That's
I feel like this show is just turning into like Rhys's day. So first I
Yeah.
opened my mail, then I went to Walmart, and as I was walking past the oatmeal aisle,
First of all, my mail is comics.
that's
Come
true.
on.
That's fair. Okay,
I'm
that's
not,
on brand.
I'm not showing you the political ads for whoever is running for governor.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
All right.
Every
So
5
in-
minutes.
Anyway, let's talk saving the world.
Definitely, but before we get to
Tonic
that-
has to leave.
Yeah, definitely. Dave says in chat spoon, which of course the classic war cry of the tick. And Taylor says, "Is it real Vermont maple?" We more maple syrup talk. Well, it's on brand because
Real.
it's on point because we are going to be talking about maple syrup comics. So, or maple syrup in comics. But before we get to the flock, let's jump into. And I'm sorry to spring this on you, the flock. But before we jump into saving the world, we have a tradition. It's very, very goes way back to the first Comics Creators Club, eons ago. Was it the second? I think we did the first.
I was not the first.
Okay, I think it was the first, but we can dig through the archive later. We already have a mythology that we debate. See how old? See how legendary this has become already.
We started doing this in September. Calm down.
Okay.
My anticipation's killing me.
What we do is
We want you. Here's the thing, Scott. We want you to pitch saving the world.
Yeah,
Come
and,
on, give us an elevator pitch for saving the
and then
world.
Tonic will pitch your book when we get to yours.
Okay.
Just elevator pitch saving the world. We'll give you a second. I'm going to pull up the images for our other tradition.
This is a really good concept. Let me think about it for 2 seconds. Give me like a quick, because when I read
Take
through it, it was
Almost as much time as you need.
Let's see.
Sometimes it's good to have an off the cuff pitch too. So like we're going to say that our totally springing it on you is intentional.
So my idea of what the story feels like out of just reading issue 6, I've never read any of the other comics in the series. It feels as if it was something that you would see on like old Spike TV network, where you'd have something like on the lines of like Ren and Stimpy, or like I think it's called Gary the Rat or something like that. But it was like shows that are animated but for adults, because there's a lot of adult vibes in this. A lot of adult vibes throughout the entire series. So it's a fun action adventure that doesn't seem to be taking itself too seriously, but it is a unique story, and it kind of drags you in the first couple pages of the story to get to know the main characters. Especially issue 6. I don't know how the first 5 were. But the new characters that are introduced have some type of uniqueness where you want to know more as you read the book. And at the very end, you're like wondering what's going to happen next. And also there's a lot of Easter eggs of stuff from that I noticed that were in here that were from other properties that was really interesting to see. And I was like, hey, I know what that is. Hey, I know what that is as you're reading it. So it's a really fun book to read that's definitely targeted towards adults on the other spectrum of comic books, because I know mine is more of an all ages book for younger kids, but this one it's going to be a good read because it's going to be entertaining you the whole time throughout the comic, and it's 36 pages too. Like most comics are only 24. This is a meaty comic book.
Awesome.
Well, I say that is a really long elevator ride, but I thought you had gone.
Hey, I lived on the 12th floor, so
so we had some time. All right.
Okay, fair enough. Mrs. McGurgle got let off on 3 while you were going at it. It's fine.
Okay, by the way, I have a surprise for when Tonic Bowl does his pitch. Okay, this is going to be great. I have a new tradition. This is going to be fantastic. Okay.
Oh,
on the
God.
fly.
On the fly.
I'm curious what it is.
That's when I get my best ideas. So, all right. So, saving the world. So, what we don't you know what, Rhys? All right. I know where you live. Okay.
That's true.
Okay. All right. So,
why'd you come find me then? Huh?
Because you live in Nebraska. Okay. So, yeah, I know. Big think there. Yeah. All right. Draw and Talk comes in and says, "There's boobs on this show tonight." Pass. The Comics Code Authority does not allow this.
Well, fortunately, this is the Comics Creators Club. I just stole the logo because I thought it was funny. And let's be realistic. There were lots of boobs in CCA books.
Not enough, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I mean, I push it maybe into like more anime boobage, but still, yeah. I mean, the code really didn't say, "Oh, no big boobs." They were like,
No
don't
naked
murder
boobs.
people or something. No naked.
No naked boobs.
And in fact, instead they're just like convenient shadows, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, very. A lot of
Anyway,
shadows.
So let's
the
dive into
code's a different question. We'll talk
let's
about
dive
that
into the
this summer.
let's
actually.
dive into the double D's of this book.
Yeah,
So
let's talk about
so
The
normally
do's
what
and
we do,
don'ts.
yeah, normally what we do is we just start from like one part of the panel, and we'll start from the bottom, work our way up, and just kind of like give your first impressions of the book, the things that you liked, standout moments, things about the artwork, and so on. And we just start off with, what did you like about saving the world? What was your favorite moment or favorite part? So, Flock, you're back on deck. So, what is your favorite part of saving the world?
I love how the story of throughout the book as you're going through, it not only does it like flow great, but also it's like it's like a how to describe it. It's you want to flip each page because you want to know what's going to happen because you're getting more invested into the characters and as you're reading. And I had no clue who these characters were. And at the very end, I'm like, at the cliffhanger at the very end, I'm just like, oh no, what's gonna happen? What's next? Like it felt really, really much like a ending of like an episode of like a series or something. I loved it. I really loved it. It was just so fun to read, and it's more adult style books, which I haven't been reading as much, just because I'm trying to get more inspiration for my own products. But like, yeah, it was really unique, and I'm looking forward to read more.
Awesome. All right, so I will go next, and then we'll keep things moving, and then we'll do our voice acting segment right after that, because that's like the coolest part of like one of the coolest things that we do here. So this is going to be a fun one because
I got to stop this. You keep saying that's the coolest thing we do here. Were you like did you not make the cut for show choir back in the day, or what's the story with that?
I actually did make the cut for so I don't know what
I
you're
knew it
doing.
was one of those options was the case situation going on here. You either were or were not on show choir.
I was I played rhythm in the salty the singing psalm book musical in church. So
Sorry, the same thing, but they're equally dorky. Continue.
Anywho, okay, no. Oh, hold on. Point of order. Speaking of dorkiness, let me show you my mail. Look at my for $20. I got my Shazam comic. It's got a real lightning bolt cut out of it.
It's a comic book show, and you're talking about church musicals.
No, you talked about church musicals. I was talking about voice acting for comics. Point of order over. All right. Saving the world. I love this book as well. And Douglas Ernst again walked in the always the wrong moment. Doug Ernst clearly proving he has Catholic parent powers, where you literally walk in at the most awkward point in the conversation. Okay, so back to why saving the world is awesome. So I legitimately was smiling and chuckling my way through this entire book. The dialogue and banter between the characters was very well handled. At the same time, I never thought that the plot was a joke. So
yeah,
the plot,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So the characters are extremely humorous, and they're kind of it's kind of like heroes for hire in a way, like two broke girls with superpowers essentially. I think there was like a tagline. It was like maximum power, minimum wage, which I think was really awesome. I might be saying that incorrectly, but that's the way I remember it. Okay, so it's just that's kind of describes like the two main heroines, and there's like a side character on the right here, and she's even more financially destitute than the two broke girls who are superheroes, and so you definitely get this really you get this this comic is a great marriage between superhero books and underground comics with an X. So like the kind of like, you know, maybe not Robert Crumb, but like that sort of underground comics. I was thinking like Daniel Clowes, you know, and that type of underground comic scene. But normally those types of scenes, they just make fun of superheroes, and they deconstruct superheroes. And this book had the sensibilities of underground comics, but it was like also like trying to be kind of superheroic at the same time. So part of my question, Tonic, I don't want to divert things too much, but are you a fan of underground comics? Like I definitely got some underground vibes here.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I liked like superhero comics, Batman mainly, and then like when I become a teenager, you know, it was the 90s, and so it was all the superhero sucks. So I was all into the Tick, but also mainly like oddly enough, Ghost World by Daniel Clowes.
Oh, I nailed it. Okay.
But no, that is 100% like what really got me to go, two girls and stuff, you know, the whole Ghost World thing. Mm-hmm. And but then that's what I drew in the 90s, was really underground comics and stuff. But then I read Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor and Justin Gray's run on Power Girl, and I had kind of started. I think I got old and I just couldn't handle depression no more. So I was like, I'm gonna get back into some superhero comics, see what they're doing. And I read Jimmy Palmiotti's Power Girl, and it was like, you know, it had some of the sexy edge, but it was kind of smart too. And that really inspired me to go, you know, hey, I loved superheroes when I was a kid. Now I'm kind of getting back into them. What if I, you know, try to do, I mean, what you said is actually exactly what I was trying to do. It was take Ghost World, but add superheroes. And so all my 90s inspiration also, because a lot of people say, like, you know, Ren and Stimpy, Beavis and Butthead, and that kind of MTV animation back then. And you know, I'm 41, so I was a teenager and in my early 20s when that was the thing. And so even though those things, like those cartoons, didn't particularly, like, I don't think of them as inspiration. That's my generation, and so you know that just comes through. But
Okay.
but no, yeah, everything you said exactly.
Oh well, you definitely nailed it. So if that was your goal.
I do have an off-topic question. So Nora's car, is it a Firebird or a GTO?
Oh, it's a you're really close. It's a GTO, but it's actually a 1970 Pontiac Le Mans, which is just the non-sport version of GTO.
Okay. Awesome. Nice.
Speaking
I wasn't sure about, I wasn't 100% sure about the grill was the thing. I was like, that's either a Firebird or a GTO.
Right.
So a Nightwing,
Yeah,
I had this interesting thing. I had it confirmed by Chuck Dixon that Nightwing's Nightbird from his 90s or early aughts Nightwing series is a GTO, a 72 GTO. So I was I had that confirmed, and so I saw this car and I was like, oh, that looks really familiar. I'm gonna ask. It's a Le Mans though. Excellent.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
I made the comic, I was driving one.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah, you're right. Art imitates life. Life imitates art.
It's
All right.
a badass car, dude.
All right. So,
yeah.
so Raven or Nick, what was your favorite part of your impressions? Favorite part of saving the world?
So I really liked it. And one of the things that I don't think a lot of people end up talking about is how well paced the story is. It's got a nuance to it that it slowly picks up, and it gives you a lot of conversations. You get to know these characters very well. But also the idea of the pods kind of being brought up early on. You're allowed to kind of slowly pace this mystery and dive into it further before things get real crazy. So I like that you kind of acculate us to this. We're not just thrown right into the craziness. It's taken serious at the same time. So I really appreciated that, and I liked how the setup and the payoffs, like when we finally got to the end, and the characters have these turnarounds, these twists. It's really earned. You paid it off well, and each moment that a new story development comes along, it doesn't feel like it's just being shoehorned in there. So, Tonic, I don't think you get enough credit for your story capabilities. You really shine in this issue, along with the art, the jokes, the
It's
serious
well written.
matter.
It's well written.
It's really well written, and
It's well written.
expressions. I really enjoyed it. It was really engaging, and just like everyone here has said, that the minute I got to the end, I was just like, okay, what happened next? Like, I'm game. I'm on board. It has a really fun pace, and it's really engaging, and I don't think that's said enough.
Thank you. Me neither.
All right. So rounding it off, Rhys, what's your favorite?
Well, I mean, I one of the things I think is great is actually really funny because Taylor in the chat was talking about dialogue that I wrote for a different comic. But I think one of the things you do really well is that you allow your characters to speak in their dialogue in a way that fills in readers to previous stuff, while also not bogging the story down with, like, you know, the Bendis syndrome or having that super heavy Whedon-esque dialogue that overwroughts the scenes. People's voice cadences are realistic, but they've got that comic, that you know, 70s, 80s, 90s comic convention of cluing the reader in through natural human conversation to stuff that they missed. So we've got 1 and 2 and 4 and I've read the 6, right? So I missed a bunch, right? But I don't feel like I wasn't like, oh my God, what's happened to Kira and Nora? I'm totally lost and confused. You're able to pull that off really well.
This is the first issue that doesn't. I've kind of written the script and I tried to rush the ending to fit, because I like the 32-page format of one story or multiple sometimes. But I realized I couldn't do it. It sucked, and I had so many ideas to finish this story. So this was the first one that's actually. They all kind of carry over, but it's you know, a big arc but each issue, and this one I had to break in two. And I was terrified because I was like, man, I've been talking up the whole, golden age where you buy one issue and you can read, when I was a kid, I had 5 or 6 comics and I could read them over and over. But in this case, I had to break it in two. But come find out all my readers are adults and they love cliffhangers. And I was like, okay, whatever, that'll work.
Well, and one of the things about the cliffhangers in this, I was talking about this with Rags having the perfect cliffhanger. Your story, I mean, if I didn't pick up 7, I still know where, I can kind of project where it's going. You set the pieces up. I may not know how it's getting there, but you've set up the pieces well enough that I know there's a resolution coming. So it's not like I feel like, it's in the story, you see character growth, you see development, you see dynamism, you see rising and falling action. It feels like a great 2-parter. So like, you're not like left with like, well, that wasn't worth my time. Right. What I hate worse is the story. You go through 24 pages and like nothing freaking happened. And then it's like, and you have an interesting question and you're like, see the resolution in next issue. And I'm like, okay, it finally got going on the last page. And that's not what you see here. You see it moves. I mean, it moves and builds through the whole thing. I thought, and a big part of that is how you use the dialogue to lay those stakes as you go. And well done.
Well done, stakes.
Ooh. More of a medium guy.
That's one of my major complaints, like with modern comics, is especially Image, but Marvel and DC too, with just their superhero stuff, is that whole, when I was a kid, it wasn't like they were short goals. This was post-crisis DC, late 80s, early 90s. And, but you buy one issue and you felt fulfilled, even if it was, part 1 of 6 or something. There was, the writer and artist knew what felt like a substantial meal in storytelling. And they were 24. I couldn't do it. I need those 32 pages. But but nowadays, it feels like they wrote one story and then just broke it into 12 pieces, and it feels very unfulfilling. And with prices skyrocketing on comics, it's, that feels less. But I feel like a lot of writers want to write movies or Netflix series and then default to comics, where you can't. You have to want to write in comics, otherwise the story. And
they're using comics as like their step into that genre of industry, when it's like you have to be able to, you have to have your comic actually make sense.
Well, and I think that's fine if it's done well. I mean, you look at like Lock and Key, right? Lock and Key is a good comic.
I love Lock and Key.
And people like, mixed opinions about the series, right? But I mean, the material can fit well on the screen, whether it was or wasn't, that's a different argument, but it definitely fits it. But the
show is terrible. The comic is fantastic.
Yeah, I only saw like the first episode of the show, and it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't.
It's all downhill. I personally was offended when I finished that first season. Sorry.
So I bring up one thing and then you just go completely off.
Sorry.
Subtonic. Netflix series when?
What? Me? Never.
Excellent. Good answer.
Good answer. Yeah. Okay. So let's to kind of give our Cavalry Collective. Oh, good to see you in chat. Screenwriter who learned to write comics to help my career here. I don't know how to take that. Yeah, lol, I'm one of those. All right.
That's awkward. We were just talking shit.
Okay. Oh, whoops.
We're just talking mad.
No, that's that's. I mean, actually, having edited a script, I can see that. And not in a bad way, but yeah. Anyway, moving
Lock
on.
and Key were both heartbreaking adaptations for me. Yes, we can talk about that. We can moan that on another show. But
in the summer, we'll have some more shows like that, because I've got some people that are specifically requesting kinds of shows that we want us to do when we come back from break. So
let's do some voice acting. So We usually do the first 4 or 5 pages, whatever kind of like, helps like, entice, because this is kind of like a way to pitch it to readers as well. And
you can flip it and do what you want with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Pitch it to potential readers. And so just for those of you who are not familiar with
this is going to be really interesting because all of the characters are women.
Yep. So
and Caitlin can't voice all of them.
And I'm not voicing all of them.
Yeah.
Joke's on you, you are.
Okay.
Take it off, Twitless. Let's go.
I get called ma'am a lot in drive-throughs, like drive-through windows. So,
So what we do is we break up the parts. So we have Kira and Nora. So we need to figure out who's going to be Kira and Nora, and then whoever will be the other incidental characters within the first few pages.
I'm just going to say that I would like to play the martial arts instructor as Dietrich Bader.
yes.
Excellent.
Okay, you have permission. Okay. Alrighty, so let's see here. So who's going to be our Kira? Who's going to be our Nora?
Can I be the narrator?
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. Narrator is like 2 lines. Well, a couple lines. That's an interesting little. Okay, so we've hold on. We've got Kiara, who's the main character, and then we've got Nora, which is Hobo Girl, right?
No. Nora's the super smart one.
Nora's the okay. Then we have Hobo Girl, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Hobo Girl's a different person.
Sorry. So we have Kira, Nora, Hobo Girl, and then we've got the instructor. So Rhys is going to be the instructor.
Yeah.
We have our 2 main leads.
We have a request from the chat that Nick should voice Nora.
Nick for Nora. I agree.
Oh gosh, is it just because they were both ends?
Well, that's good enough reasoning. That's good enough reasoning. I'm going to do Hobo Girl. I'm calling dibs.
It's a Thin Man reference, if nothing else.
Oh no!
Oh, good point. I call dibs on Hobo Girl. That's the real big brain move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe Tonic should have to do Kira at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do Kira.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, did Flock not get it? Somebody?
He didn't get one.
What is? Okay.
All right, hold on.
So maybe.
How many pages are we going down?
Flock, just like probably the first 4 or 5. Flock.
I'm not sure if there's another voice on the first 4 or 5 pages.
Flock can be the narrator.
There you go.
There's enough caption. There's some caption boxes. So put on your best narrator voice.
Maplewood City.
Okay, so we'll probably do the first 5, 6. We'll do like the first 6 pages. And it's always gonna. It's always a train wreck, but it's always fantastic at the same time somehow. All right, so here we go.
I can play the background noises.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Flock has to be the narrator / Foley guy.
What's that one thing they use in the old sci-fi movies where it's like that weird noise, like sketchy noise? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't have
the first electronic instrument.
All right, so I reshared the screen. So let's get this train wreck a rolling. So, take us away, Mr. Narrator.
So I can read it well.
Hold on, I'm gonna open up my section so I can zoom in. St. Lawrence, Missouri. Sorry, I'm trying to read it. Didn't load up all the way. St. Lawrence, Missouri, 35 miles east of Maplewood City.
To take down your opponent, each strike needs to be decisive, and every movement deliberate. You will have no time for hesitation, no time for self-doubt. You must tap into that primal lust for blood and strike. I promise you that if you apply yourself, what and who you once were won't matter. All of us have the power to become something new, something powerful.
Oh, yeah!
You are not the product of your environment, financial status, or upbringing. You're a product of your own hard work and dedication. Your path is set by no one but yourself. Okay, our time's up for today, but I want to see all of you next week. You ladies did good today. Class dismissed.
Maybe I'm wrong, but this feels like the most aggressive women's self-defense class ever.
Well, it's an aggressive world out there.
You think Victoria has ever murdered a dude with her bare hands?
She does give off that vibe. I'm indestructible, and I'm still afraid of her.
You sure you don't want me to drive?
You don't even have a driver's license.
How am I supposed to learn if you won't let me drive?
I ain't gonna become an accomplice to vehicular manslaughter.
Didn't Victoria say something about a foundation of trust or something?
She literally said, "Don't trust." She literally said, "Trust no one. Everyone is a potential enemy.
You sure? That doesn't ring a bell.
Trust me."
That's great.
Later, back in Maplewood City, for the past week, my fellow street folk have been vanishing one by one.
Scott?
Wait, is that narrator or not?
Yeah, that second box is Twitless.
That's
Oh,
fine.
I'm sorry. It looked like it was. I
Okay.
couldn't tell from there.
For the last week, my fellow street folk have been vanishing one by one. First Gypsy, Boots, and Potter, now Randy. Though we were by nature a nomadic people, it wasn't like these guys to just up and wander off without saying anything. Gross. Did I mention the creepy ass pods everywhere? Eggs? Maybe spores of some kind. Were these related to the disappearances? Where'd they come from? Clearly I was in over my head. It was time I called in the professionals. Dun dun dun. Okay, so yeah, that is the pitch for, and that's an excellent, I think, succinct pitch for what actually is going on in this comic. For those of you in the chat who are interested in picking up Saving the World, so if you want to see what is going on at the mystery of the creepy. So is that creepy ass pod or is that creepy ass pod? Because that makes a difference.
A little bit of both, probably.
Yeah, a little bit above that.
Oh, okay. All right. Just checking. Before we move on and briefly, or before we jump into the next book, do we want to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the udder in the room?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Did you? How?
How
You
now,
cr-
brown cow?
You created it.
That was like 2 issues ago.
Your twisted mind wrote it, imagined it, and then brought it into being in line art.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm drawing numbers. Okay, there's a funny story about that. So back when I was doing like creepy, honestly more like our crumb type stuff, I created this creature that was basically that, but it had a different head. And so I needed like this design, and I was like, I'm just gonna steal that. And but I didn't really, let's just say it, Nora kind of deep throats her teeth. And so when I was writing it, I was like, I don't think I could show that, so I didn't, and I just have it kind of jump. But then I realized the jump, it might make it worse. And so it comes off possibly creepier, but
Possibly.
that's kind of,
Possibly.
yeah.
No, the jump. No. Here's the thing. I'm going to go back to the Comics Code Authority real quick. Not to totally interrupt you, but I'm totally going to step on you. Like that was the brilliant move because, like, you turn that page and your brain does all the work, and it totally it's not obscene, but what's happening, right? So it was the same kind of things they did during the Comics Code days, where you got a way more intense comic experience because your mind creates the image. So
Right. And Saving the World, that's a lot of my when I used to do stuff, there was no editing myself. It was they were adults only more because it was I would go far more extreme or whatever. But with Saving the World, I wanted to keep what I thought was a PG-13, or a really hard one. But people go, oh, why don't you show this or that? And I'm like, well, for Saving the World, I like this. At times, I kind of make you forget that it, if I have a bunch of too many cuss words, I don't use the F word because I feel like the subtle moments set you off kilter. Like you kind of think it's just a normal superhero book, and then I can throw in weird stuff and it means more, like more impactful. I don't know.
No, I agree. I mean, that's a lot of the same tack we took with Force of Good and Evil, for a lot of the same kind of reasons.
Yeah.
We edit almost all of our swearing in ways that it leaves everybody knows exactly what it says, but we just edit out our vowels.
Okay. I do have to interject here. Where did this monstrosity come from?
Oh, I design horrible stuff like that all the time.
Oh, okay.
No,
So this is a norm for you. Okay.
That's honestly that's more normal than anything else I do. Like I love, and to be fair, a lot of my design is borrowed somewhat from HIV, like the alien and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's a heavy influence, and then before Boobs and Utter, I don't know where that came from, but I thought it was funny, and I never saw it before, so that was good.
You know what's funny? I wanted to add. I just wanted to add, when I got to this part of the comic, I felt like I was reading something like it was like an episode of Futurama, and how weird and creepy and funny it is.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The Max was a little like that, and that was definitely a huge influence, like superhero wise.
Yeah.
That whole series was just wild.
All right, so before we transition to the flock, Tonic, do you have a question for us? Is there something that maybe you thought something you'd like our opinion on, or something that hey, did you guys notice X, or what did you guys think of Y?
Okay, let's see. Man, you guys were far more receptive than I really thought people were. It kind of makes me worry now, because I just write assuming nobody knows what I'm doing. But so that was you guys are pretty impressive. I will say, the one exact, it's kind of like where Rhys, he said he didn't get number 3, I think 1, 2, and 4, 5. There is some, even though most of my stories are self, I try to contain them in one issue. There are tons of things, kind of like the Easter eggs, that they're like in issue number 3. Jim Lawson that did Ninja Turtles, he drew like half the comic, and that introduces the posters, and then you don't really see them because it doesn't work out. Like they get invited to. People think that those posters are girls who cosplay for birthday parties, because they don't explicitly say that they're superheroes, and that's not a real a thing. So they keep getting them paid to go to kids' birthday parties. And so this is the first time ever that someone actually understood their posters that are everywhere. And
it's the crazy homeless chick. It's perfect.
Exactly, and it's the crazy homeless chick. Which, so yeah, as you read, there's tons of things people haven't noticed yet, and it's driving me crazy for the reveal. There's things in issue 2 that I haven't gotten back to yet, that I had one guy go, "Oh, I think you made a mistake in number 2 because this and this," and I was like, because I know that's something you want to notice and ask the question of, wait a second, that don't make sense. And it makes editing harder though, because I can't make a mistake, because I can't get my mistakes mixed up with my intentional foreshadowing or whatever. Anyway, that's just me babbling about myself. But no, you guys, that was excellent. Everything you said was exactly what goes through my head while writing it, what I'm attempting to do. No, that's spot on. Excellent.
Well, cool. We're glad to be of service to you. That's
Awesome.
Part of what we do the thing.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so shall we switch gears?
Yes. So Tonic, give us
pitch. Here, but as we do that pitch, I want to share my screen one more time, because we're actually going to do a for real elevator pitch, and I've got some elevator music.
Excellent.
That's the new tradition.
That's awesome. I love it.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, that's perfect.
That's a little loud. Okay, I think that's good.
Okay. There we go. We ready? Okay. Do you miss the days of yore when a Golden Age comic could rock your world and show you a new world with new exciting characters? Well, that day is now. Bringing the Golden Age to the modern era, the Flock is high-flying action that will bring delight to your inner child and to actual children around the world. Okay, that's my pick.
Yeah, I like.
I love it.
I like it. Oh,
I think
gotta
you
say,
made it. I think you made it to about the 5th or 6th floor.
I have to interrupt though. There was one more thing I was saving the world I wanted to mention, just in case you have to jump off here, because it's right on the edge of 9 o'clock.
I can hold on for a little bit.
Okay. Well, good. But the one thing I want to get in there that I forgot to mention was I love the like rural city framing of the town, where it's you could tell it's a city in the middle of the countryside, and like half the population are rednecks, and I love that. So,
Yeah, that's where I live.
yeah. Well, I mean, here, same. So, I just I love that it has that flyover country feel to the book. So,
yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Scott, sorry to step on your segment.
You're fine. I love that pitch. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was great. So yeah. Oh, hey, hang on. Wait a second.
Excellent elevator pitch. That's all right. That's a keeper. We're gonna add that to the repertoire now. we can even estimate how many floors you got up. I'd say it's a 6th floor pitch. All right. So
women's one.
Go ahead.
I made it to women's lingerie.
Oh, you made it to me.
That's a different show.
Okay, so the Flock.
Haberdashery.
So let's do
exactly.
Shall we do the let's do the voice acting first on this one.
Okay.
And then we can jump into what we liked about it. All right. So in the first few pages, what do we got here? We've got some citizens. We've got
I'll be the kid.
Okay.
Yeah. So the kid is the Gosling.
Yeah, we got Gosling
and
Gooseman.
I will be random passerby.
All right, you'll be the random citizens. Okay.
Yes. And I'll do the sound effects.
Hey,
too.
Go ahead.
Can I be Gooseman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Let's do the first. Let's see here.
You do the first 6 pages. Probably the best.
Can we hit 7 so we can get get Seaman costume?
That includes the inside and outside front cover. So we're actually.
Okay. So sorry. I'm going off. Was going off by the PDF. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So who's going to be our narrator?
I've been making comics a while.
All right. Who's going to be our narrator?
I will be the narrator as well.
Okay. All right. So your narrator
is that cool? We'll do this, because I mean, just it seems like a natural fit because there's only like a couple narrated lines that aren't like internal dialogue.
All right. And
Maple. Okay, are we ready?
I think we're ready. Yeah, hit it.
Maple City, midday. What is that? It's super sticky. Run! It's coming this way. I love the brawny man there. That's okay.
The quilted quicker picker upper.
Okay. The squirt. The squirt. Is that the Gosling? Oh wait, that's the wrong voice for that guy. Is that the Gosling?
Who cares, dear?
Oh, did you want to do?
I needed to do somebody.
Okay. I'll let you do all the girls then.
Who cares, dear? Let's get out of here, eh?
Whew, 7th grade PE really did come in handy, huh?
Screech! Crush!
Okay. Is that the goose guy?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's Goose Man. Yeah.
Okay. Edward, I promised your parents I'd look after you. Running into traffic is not helping. I will handle.
But Uncle, I can help you.
I know, kid. Help me by working with Jackie to get people to safety.
The kid and I will take care of the citizens. Do your job, Huck.
Good luck.
Good luck, Huck Huck.
It's sticking to everything. Run for your lives, eh?
Oh wait, is this me again?
Yep.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
that's you, Tonic.
Okay. Let me zoom in. Here we go. Whoa. Should not have eaten all that fair food. I wish Edward didn't find out about my secret. Okay,
Nick,
someone's got a screen.
Nick, that's you.
Oh, you're the Goose Man.
I taught him everything I know. He is always ready when I need him. I just don't want him to get hurt. I'm proud of him, but I wish in the end he decides on a normal life, one without the headaches of war.
Go get them, Goose Man.
Da, 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 da. Alrighty. So Taylor says clearly this comic doesn't take place in Canada, or they'd just be holding up their plate of pancakes and enjoying the free syrup.
Listen, Taylor, I hate to break it to you, but Canada is not exactly as portrayed in the amazing John Candy film on Canadian Bacon.
That's disappointing.
Yes.
Tony Sizzle says cool pages. Yes.
Awesome.
And that's a good.
Thank you.
It's a nice splash page there.
So I just wanted to butt in really quick. So this comic is issue 2. It is taking place right after issue 1, where at the very end of the comic, a airship comes into this festival and kind of starts shooting maple syrup throughout the city and stops this festival from happening. So like that's why he said in the he shouldn't have eaten all that fair food. It takes place literally right after the first issue. So, but most of my books are one shots. So,
Gotcha.
just to kind of clear up, like that didn't make any sense. As I'm like, well, if you read the first issue, but yeah,
That's fair.
Well, I was
Alright.
able to pick it up. I thought it was
okay, good.
I thought
Okay,
it was. I thought it was fair. I thought it was definitely
Yeah.
fair.
The last thing you want to do when jumping on a rocket is have a belly full of pancakes. And,
exactly.
So
Elephant ears.
starting with Tonic, what was your favorite part of the Flock issue 2?
Okay, so, well, I guess it was the overall thing that it might not come through totally, but I have like a lot of inspiration from the Golden Age comics, and mainly that format and, you know, kind of each issue feeling kind of packed. And like, I haven't read The Flock #1, but I didn't feel like I was, you know, lost or anything. And that's kind of how I like it, you know, where the comic works self-contained, even if it's a part of the story. And but yeah, I like the overall. There's a very heavy, you know, Golden Age feel that, you know, this wouldn't be surprising if it, you know, was released in the 50s type idea, you know.
Wonderful.
The tone and stuff like that. Though, I mean, admittedly, it's probably written a little better and the art's a little better than a 50s comic, but you know the inspiration comes through. So that would be my favorite part.
Awesome. Let me see. I loved the humor, and I loved the sort of like little self-references here and there. I think. Let me see. I'm actually going to pull up my favorite moment real fast, and it's the point where he's kind of looking around the airship, and here I got it right here. He basically says, "Is this a trap?"
that is a great moment. I love that.
He says, "Is this a trap?" And then he immediately gets confirmation, and then it's a trap. I love that. So again, this is a story that's definitely got some humor to it. You know, it's very. I would say this one's very much in spirit like The Tick. You know, like a villain who has a dirigible who shoots maple syrup is something that if it wasn't on an episode of The Tick, it's something that I easily could have seen. Like the Idea Men had a dirigible, and El Cid would be, well, not El Cid, would probably be what's his name? There's a baker villain who does bakery stuff. What was his name? Breadmaster? I think it's Breadmaster. I think this is something I see like Breadmaster do. Because does anyone remember Breadmaster? And he had his villain. His minion was Buttery Pat. He was literally like a stick of butter. You couldn't catch him because like if you tried to grab him, he slipped out of your hands.
That is incredible, and I don't remember that, so I am definitely going to look this up later.
Like I would say, I'm not making this up. Buttery Pat is I think he's the minion for Breadmaster. Anyways, so I could easily see that type of aesthetic coming on here. But what's neat again is the fact that the hero is the situations are kind of humorous, but the story is not itself a joke. And that's what I like about this type of story, because there are certain stories where like they go too far with like into the deconstructive. Oh, superheroes are stupid and it's a joke, and the story takes itself kind of like with Saving the World. It takes itself seriously enough so that the jokes I think land pretty well. Tony says slippery villains. Yep, definitely. But yeah, I really did appreciate that, and again, I found myself smiling and chuckling, and I think that was the goal. So
100%, that is 100% the goal.
Yeah, Nick, how about you?
You know, before I go into what I like about the issue, one of the things I noticed very clearly from issue 1 to this issue was the leveling up in the writing and the art. It looks like the communication between the writer and the artist got a lot better. The pacing, the panel structure just hits that much better than what issue 1 did. And issue 1 isn't a bad job, but when you get into this issue, you can kind of you can definitely see that there's and we figured out what we're doing here. You know, we got the early stuff out of our way, and now we're better at this now. The writing and the pacing, like the dialogue sequences, just works so much better compared to the first issue. Just the simple joke of like, is this a trap? And then we suddenly end up like, yeah, it's definitely a trap. There's several moments throughout the issue that just have like the timing is so much better in this issue. I especially really dug once we got into the airship was just all the little funny little tidbits, like him commenting on the color of people's stuff, the angles, the fact that there's so many barrels of syrup everywhere. I literally had a chuckle. And he's like, "Haha, where's the flapjacks when you need them?" And it was really fun and absurd, but it wasn't over the top. And so I really loved that it had that sort of 1960s Adam West feel to it. Besides the so it felt very tongue in cheek.
It winks, it kind of like winks at the camera or winks at the viewer, but it doesn't go too far with that. Like when he's looking for the bomb, and it's like, oh, good, it's in the first one I looked in.
I could easily see him going like pulling out shark repellent, and it just being taken very serious in the moment, and we're all like, okay. So I really love the nonsensical but yet serious tone of it.
I gotta echo that actually, but one of the things that I love about it is it isn't just that it's got that like campy Adam Westiness to it. It's that I think you actually do a really good job of portraying this sort of silly threat as a genuine threat.
Yeah.
Right. So like in the case of the story, like this guy shooting out, syrup from thing, and it's making everybody's life miserable. I mean, like people are genuinely terrified, right? So, and it's not in a way that's, I mean, it's a silliness, but you do it in a way that, like everybody involved in the story has gravitas. So it's not, so I mean, it's just great all ages stuff. It's silly enough to be, I mean, it's threatening enough to be threatening, but silly enough to be safe. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes total
Well
sense.
put. Well put. All righty. Let's see. Anybody have any questions for our creator or creators here? Before we ask if the creator has any questions for us.
Well, I know you're personally starting up your next Kickstarter. When exactly is that coming out, Scott?
My next Kickstarter is going to be hopefully by the end of next month. I'm planning out for. I'm waiting on a couple more pages to come through because I wanted to have some most of the actual volume 2 completed. Right now we're at about, I'm gonna say 75% of it completed, as in like pencils and inks. So I'm just trying to get things rolling. Probably the end of May. If not, then it'll be very early June.
I have lore questions. I have 2. Okay. First lore question. How much control does Gooseman have over the jetpack? We see him remotely. It's actually kind of how, I don't want to get too much into spoilers, but it becomes important that he has remote control over it. How much fine control does he have over that? Could he pilot it over to himself and, attach himself to it? Like, is it something he could almost control like a drone? Go ahead.
I would say the background is there's a issue that's coming out later on that explains it, of course, but the main thing is he can control the how much power goes to it in his wrist. Like it kind of like controls the speed and then also has a self-destruct button on it. But the aspects of it it cannot fly around or whatever. It's just like the basics of normal jetpack, I guess, to describe it. But you find out later in future issues why his gear, because there's new characters that get involved into the series later on, he realizes that he has okay gear, but some people have way better gear than he does.
All right. So my second question has to do. So there's an interesting setup at the end here where it looks like they have access to the to an airship. Is that going to become like the Flock's like flying base?
You may see appearance of it in the future.
Okay, all right. I got you. Okay, I got you.
I gotta say, I did love that. I did love that he parked the dirigible outside of the pancake house. Like
can I share that image? Is that okay? If I
yes,
share that one?
that is fine. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite pages.
All right. I'm going to share that one. That's a fun one.
I got a little. It's not really a secret, but it's a little known fact that several years ago I went through a crazy dirigible phase where I just like studied tons about the different kinds of dirigibles, and so yeah, it's crazy. I love it.
Yeah.
So a little bit side note. So the Daryl's Diner is kind of like the main hub where all the characters basically venture off to, and like, you know, where they meet and everything. But Huck lives above the diner, so like his entire apartment building and his hero lair or whatever is above the diner. So that's why he always meets all his friends in the diner or whatnot. But it's funny how there's just an airship, just not
just here.
just parked right there.
Well, they could use it for marketing. They could put like daily specials and put it on. Oh goodness. Pennsylvania says, "Glad to see I'm not the only guy that went through a dirigible phase."
Oh yeah.
Oh, the humanity.
That's a whole thing. That was one of the first things when I started seeing Carl's art out there at Carltoons. I was like, he has blimps and dirigibles. I have to talk to this guy.
Taylor Gibson says, "Reminds me of the ending of Up."
That's true.
That's a good one. Flock, do you have any
shaving?
Tonic, are you shaving?
I think so.
Okay.
What are you shaving?
Don't answer that. I don't want to know. Scott or Flock, or Scott. I always call you Flock because that's what you go by on Twitter. Scott, what do you have any questions for us? Things that you said, hey, what did you think about X or thought about Y, or did you notice blank?
Well, the main thing that I wanted to kind of get through is, did you guys really like the coloring? Because the coloring was done by Ichthus, and I've tried to. This was like the reason I picked issue 2 is because we kind of did it out of order, and I'll explain a little bit. So issue 1 was done colored by someone else. Ichthus came on board as we were going through, and the person that was doing issue 1 was supposed to do issue 2, but that person kind of went MIA and got off the radar. So I hired Ichthus to do issue 3 while the other guy was supposed to do issue 2. The guy never completed issue 2, so Ichthus had came through and did issue 2, and this was like his after issue 3. It's weird because this one looks way better than in issue 3, but his colors improved dramatically from backwards, if per se.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So, and that's just how the game works with the project. It just happened that turned out that way. But anyway, did you guys like the colors a lot? Because that was the main thing that me and him were trying to work with, was try to have a modern feel, but also have that because the artwork is so well done and it's like really you could go on as a grayscale, but with the colors we wanted to see how much we could really make the comic stand out with his artwork and his choice of colors. Because my style of the book is really like everything has to like pop in some way, and all the colors need to pop, and it has to make a feel as if you're reading a comic from golden age, where like it's all wacky colors and very very vibrant and whatnot.
So I will speak to it. One of the things that I loved about it was how many like the effective use of flat colors, and I'm a big fan of heavy putting your shades in the line art and using like flat colors or cell shade. Like I love that look. And nothing against like the full, the digital painted kind of style. I mean, that can be really cool too. But
rendering,
I love the old school flat color stuff, or the cell shade kind of look to it. And I think he did a really good job of highlighting that in this book. That was one of the first things I noticed is it feels classic.
Perfect, because that's the thing I'm really running into, like the decision whether or not to continue in color or go to a grayscale format. And I really want to keep working with this because I love the idea of it being the vibrant colors, because I read the whole thing originally without colors and I just like, wow, it's a totally different book. Totally different feel, totally different vibe.
I think I read your black and white version. I think the tone shifts a bit. Or at least it's reinforced with your current color palette. So I think I'm the guy who's the fan of overly rendered colors. That's it. But I think it grew on me as I went on. I think so. I think it's one of those things that it's a little bit of an acquired taste. But I think it matches. I don't think there's a big like conflict. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that was my big concern, was the tone of the book and the story and how it's told and how you read page to page. I didn't want the colors to over impact the story in some way. I don't know how to describe it, but that's why I was trying to like make sure like it looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I generally like black and white always, but like with this, I almost feel like it has to be, and I like the specific how it was colored, but also I feel like it needs to be colored.
Okay.
And I would say like because it feels it feels like a very golden age style of coloring, which I also prefer. I'm not a huge fan of all the kind of like through the 90s, early 2000s, it was a lot of digital colors and stuff like that. And nowadays it's kind of painting outside the lines like watercolor, and I'm not really a fan of all that. But the style in this, a very golden age tone, and also that like I think it would look even better once it's printed on uncoated paper, because it won't give it that, like an offset print press gives real texture, and uncoated paper does that, maybe not quite as much, but my last comic I finally got uncoated paper. Oddly enough, sometimes they charge you more, but in this case, I think it's Comics Wellspring. It was the same. It's their default is 60 pounds untreated, and it feels like a real comic finally. Like my number 6 was the first time I felt my comic felt like a real comic, and when I was reading it digitally, I was like, man, this thing is gonna rock on ink more than anything, because and you look at a Golden Age comic that's been digitally transferred from Comixology or whatever, it's a totally different feel. So I think this comic, those colors are going to just explode in print, and I think they do look good in digital, but that it will be a lot more, on print, especially if it was like the uncoated paper. The texture to it and everything that, I think it's just really important for when you're going for kind of a classic Golden Age feel.
Awesome.
And slightly off topic. This is almost repeating everything everybody else said, but and I think there's a little bit difference between the Tick and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Whereas the Tick, it was kind of, it was a little bit more a joke. It was kind of take on superheroes, versus the Ninja Turtles, which was a crazy idea that was taken extremely seriously. And in this case, kind of a hybrid, but more just straight up Golden Age, because it's the first appearance of the original Batgirl, like late 40s or something. And it was the first appearance of Titan. And everybody has a bunch of Kite Man jokes. It's Indian and modern DC.
Kite Man. Okay, sorry, took me a second. Yeah, Kite Man. All right.
Kite Man. But in that original comic, he was kind of silly because there was a kite. But that comic took that guy seriously. And when a comic's for kids, that's important. That you can't have like a freaking serial killer, slaughtering people. So you have to have a threat that is a little silly, so it's better for kids. But that kids have to believe it's a threat, and that's exactly how I felt.
Hey, Tonic?
Like everybody else. Yeah.
Getting some really bad feedback from you. Did you have to plug your phone into charge or something?
Oh no, it's probably because my headset's about to die.
It sounds like we get to hear this like cuckoo clock noise, and then there's this no. It's like you're in a nuclear power plant that has a cuckoo clock in it, and I love the imagery, but it's a little hard to hear.
Oh wait, did that stop?
Yeah, you sound much better.
It sounded like we were listening to AM radio.
Okay.
From Mexico.
Yeah. They were.
Which I gotta preface this, everybody. It's not that Mexico's radio it's bad. It's like, but back in the 90s in Nebraska, you used to be able to pick up the AM stations from all over at night. So that's what I'm talking about. Just in case you're wondering. Anyway.
So you don't get canceled.
Pirate radio. That's what I'm talking about.
Whoa, your audio quality just improved by 1,000-fold. So whatever you're doing, keep doing that.
Oh, it must have been my headset. Okay. So, to wrap up, because I got to get off here. But I wanted to talk about, so, but with the flock and the maple syrup deal, as an adult, at first you go, oh, that's kind of silly. But then as you're reading it, it's not like winking at, I hate things that wink at the adult reading it, like if it's made for kids, I'm reading it because of that. And a bad habit of a lot of modern things is where an adult writer can't think like a kid. And so they think they have to wink at the adult and say, oh, I know this is silly. And it's like, no. The adult can go blow. This is about the kid reader. that's important. And an adult reader reading that wants that kid story to, that essence. And that Flock, it does that. It doesn't, it doesn't fall into that wanting to impress the adult, essentially, type thing. And so, it all worked very well for me.
We have a great question from chat from Tony. I want to know how Tonic plans to push the envelope of saving the world over the coming issues when he's already got such ridiculously wacky stuff currently happening.
Oddly enough, these were all just like the stuff I've done, like Hobo Girl and Unicorn Man and stuff. They were just kind of random ideas I had on the way. So like the stuff I have for the future is far crazier. And so it's kind of an interesting thing to where, I write it and draw it so I can do whatever I want randomly. And so like Hobo Girl, I think I had the idea while I was finishing number 5 and I had 4 pages left extra. And so I was like, oh, my Hobo Girl, that'd be silly. And so I just wrote it and drew it real quick. And so I can nimbly move with stuff like that. But my overall arc is just going like number 7's a crossover, but it hints a little. But then I get confused about what I'm shipping and what I'm drawing. Right now, what I'm shipping will be number 7, and nobody's read that. I forgot. So number 7 wraps up number 6. It has a lot of shocking revelations, which I've been. It's hard because you're working issue by issue, and it takes so long to get them to the reader that all these big surprises were coming, and it's been killing me. And number 7 that is shipping pretty shortly in the next couple of weeks. It has some huge things with it. Not only does it wrap up the story about the Hive Mother, and within it kind of hints at some things, but also there's a Lily and Wepwet short, which is so far Lily and Wepwet has never really crossed over within Kira and Nora's story, and so that's where that's been moving, and that's where the weird really gets weird. So if you guys haven't read the Lily and Whippawet spinoff, it kind of has I wouldn't call it the utter moment, but people reacted the same way, like what the type of deal. But
yes, it did. That was a hell of a moment right there.
Oh gosh!
So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so Tonic, you got to see what's on screen here. So Mrs. H is our wonderful fan artist, and she's done some fan art of Kira there saving the pickle. So that's our mascot for the matriarchy. Mattriarchy, sorry. That's late. That's a Spider Pickle. And you kind of had to be there to get that joke. But the joke was basically that when everyone is Spider-Man, like, Spider Pig, Spider this, Spider that. And so I made the offhand joke like Rick and Morty, Spider Pickle. So suddenly Spider Pickle, Spider Pickle shows up all the time. And so we have an epic crossover between Spider Pickle and saving the world.
I love it.
Hey, and this goes even further because Kira works at Big Burger, and their mascot is the Pickle King. And when she gets in trouble for being mean to a customer, she has to dress up as the Pickle King mascot and walk out to the street and spin a sign and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
So initially, I
did not know that.
A deep dive into saving the world lore.
Yeah, gosh, this is just Mrs. H.
That's number 3.
Mrs. H, you've created you've created lore consistent fan art.
And I think it's appropriate.
And it looks awesome. I love that.
I think it's appropriate at this moment that Tony replies, "This is where the weird gets really weird."
See, this is what the Comics Creators Club is all about: bringing together the awesome. This is just amazing.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
This crossover is
Okay,
canon.
I got it.
Yeah, crossover is canon. So we'll look forward to having both of you guys again on as reviewers as we cycle people in and out of our panel. So we'll have you on to read some other comics and pitch in your thoughts. But thank you very much for coming on tonight. Really good to meet both of you. Or I've already met I met you earlier, Scott. But Tonic, definitely good to have both of you on. So
Yeah,
I know
it's
you
awesome.
Yeah, I know you got to get going in a second, but is there anything else you want to plug? We plugged Flock's upcoming Kickstarter. Is there any link or something we can pop in chat or I can put up on screen to promote anything real fast?
Yeah. So Saving the World #7 is still in demand on Indiegogo.
Do you have a link? I'll pull it up on
The
screen.
art of. Oh yeah, I can. Well,
if you
I'm
pop
on
the
my
link,
phone. I
yeah,
don't even know how to work anything.
Can you pop the link in? Can you pop a link? Because I can pull it up. I might be able to just find it.
I'm not sure you can from his
I think
phone.
so.
What link is he trying to get?
For the Kickstarter for
Saving the World #7 on Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Okay, give me a second. I can probably pull it up too.
I think I got it. Give me 1 second. I think my computer will load. Hello. Saving the World #7. Okay, I have the link, so if we just share my screen, I will pull it up for you real fast. Okay, so.
And then coming up in a week or two, I launch a Kickstarter that will be the art of Saving the World. So we've had tons of artists like Jim Lawson, Illustrator Monk as always, Tony Sizzle, and all these guys making art and stuff for Saving the World. And so I had 100 pinups and all this type of stuff. So we're going to release an art book that collects all the covers and stuff like that. And then at the end of May, Saving the World #8 hits Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and it is a crossover between Saving the World and Sailor Rogowski, which is basically rags. It's complicated, but so Kira and Nora are sent to a different dimension, which is Sailor Rogowski's, and they kind of face off, and it kicks off all that stuff. And Raven's the Raven, the Demon Hunter, but it's Raven, the Demon Lord, appears also. So it's kind of a three trifecta crossover. So Sailor Rogowski, Kira Nora, and Raven, the Demon Lord. And
it's gonna be awesome.
Probably May 20th. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I'm prepared.
I don't think I could read that and sleep at night.
That's be crazy.
It'll be fun.
Eric,
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh,
Eric
and
Kent in chat says just saw the tweet.
Yeah, and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are working with Doug Garrett on Psychotron, yes?
Yeah. I'm doing the art for a little 10-page add-on, and I'm supposed to be. I haven't done it yet, but then Eric Kent is going to ink it because I don't have time, and so it become more and more of a. I kept saying yes because I really want to do it, but no time. And then Eric was like, "Hey, you get the pencils done, and I can ink it." And I was like, "Okay, that's humanly possible." So yeah, I'll be doing the pencils for a 10-page short, and then he's going to ink it. And so that's going to be awesome. I'm very excited about Psychotron and Otis #2 that's out right now, and it's killing it. So that's our little gang is doing really good. I'm very happy.
Yeah, Otis just opened today and already funded. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet today, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, he just needed $1,500.
Yeah,
and that was in the first hour. He's at over $3,000. It's amazing.
Oh wow, yeah. The first one was excellent stuff, and I absolutely love Carlos's style. So I've got a secret project Carlos and I have on the back.
Yeah, me too.
Now too, but shh.
Yeah, we all have secret projects. No. Secret projects.
No, I mean I'm not talking about a lot of the stuff I'm working on until it's getting close to finished. Because,
that's a good point.
I'm still in the middle of I'm trying to make up from 2 years ago. We got something there, so So anyhow,
Chat's blown up a little bit.
Ichthus says, Ichthus, you're gonna have to go back and watch because we were talking about your colors about 5-10 minutes ago, so you have to go back to that. Tonic, I don't want to keep you. I know you said 15 minutes ago you had to leave, so feel free to dip out whenever you want. I'm gonna put the links to Saving the World's Indiegogo in the description. They're not there right now, but they will be after the show. So anybody who catches it on the replay, I know I've got 10 or so people that watch it on Thursday morning. I have on a good authority. Some people tune it in to have background noise while they're drawing. So that's kind of
Well, yeah.
I should
wonder
do
who that could be.
Drawn talk.
I should listen to you guys praise me again.
Put it on a loop. You can you just clip that part of the video and then put it on repeat.
Some of us might be drawing while we're on here.
yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
exactly.
But yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the thing. As far as it goes. Oh, hey, Eric says that Skinny's over 3,200 right now. So,
Dang,
that's pretty impressive. So, and the fun thing about that book, guys, is it's done. it's all the art's already done. So,
Yeah.
And obviously check out Flock Volume 2, which is going to be launching soon, it looks like. So if you want to get notified, check out that Kickstarter link as well. Actually, Cartoonicus or Taylor Cartoonicus, the cat guy. Oh, sorry, Tonic, are you heading out? Let's let you bow out.
Oh yeah. Hey guys, this show was awesome. I love doing it, and I usually hate doing these things, but I love this one, so I'll be back.
Okay, man, we'll catch you later.
All right, thank you very much for coming. Yes, we people who don't like shows like our show. That is the best praise ever. I'll take that. I'll play that on a loop. Flock, Cartoonicus sent me something that I would like to share. We were talking about he whipped this up real quick because he works with he's an artist too.
with a handle like Cartoonicus, he better be.
You better be, yeah. So if you want to share my screen.
Okay, hang on a second.
We're going.
There we go.
So Cartoonicus whipped up a sepia tone filter in case that would be of something of interest for you. So
it looks faded on faded newsprint. That's got a cool look to it.
Yeah, I think that was the thing. Cartoonicus does a really good job at making like old looking stuff, like kind of like Cuphead. He's done some old timey like black and white Steamboat Willie stuff that looks almost like it was from that period. It's some of his best artwork. So when it comes to making stuff look old, he's a good person to talk to. So he whipped that up and he wanted me to show that to you. So
incredible. Cool. I like it. What is his? Does he have Twitter or what's his?
Hold on.
He is not on Twitter. He
is not on Twitter.
A godless hellscape, and he's correct.
Yeah, and he is correct.
That makes sense.
No, let me in private chat. I'll shoot you his I'll shoot you in some information for him.
Awesome. Yeah, because I would love to. Because that's pretty incredible. I interested to see or how to do that. See, the main thing that I really wish I could get the comic printed in is in newsprint. And I really do think the comic would look great in it, but I don't think I'll turn to prints anymore. That was the only person that I knew that does newsprint printing that I know of. But
well, there are other places you can go, but in order to make it really worth your money, you've got to print at least 5,000 units.
Yeah.
So that's the ticket is like
5,000.
And what was it? Doug. Come on.
Ernst?
Banjo Doug.
Which one?
Banjo Doug. Can't remember his real name.
Banjo.
Come on, he's doing Psychotron. He's a lone wolf. Garrett.
Oh,
okay.
Doug Garrett. was saying that he was working with a printer who would do aged newsprint. It's a heavier stock, so we could still do digital printing on it.
Okay.
It was a heavier newsprint, but it was the same cost of the paper. And so in order to do a run, you had to do a sizable run for them to invest in the paper. But I don't know. It was less than the 5,000 that like the offset printers that like Alterna uses needs.
Yeah. So like Alterna, I think the minimum was 500 copies, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
But I guess, I don't know. I mean, I wonder if it changes with the amount of pages that you're printing.
Yeah, because Alterna was their minimum was 500 because they already got the bulk rate because they printed like all their books per quarter. So
gotcha.
So they're already printing more than 5,000 total across their line.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
So yeah, So going into the really quick, the Flock Volume 2, it's issues 4 and 5, and then 3 short stories. So that's a meaty book. It's not going to be like a regular 24-page floppy. It's actually going to be about 80 plus pages. So it's going to be basically, a good trade size. So I'm pretty excited with that coming up. So
sweet, very cool, very cool. So.
Neostar says hey in the chat, and Mrs.
Oh hey,
H,
Neostar.
Hey, yeah.
Neostar.
And Mrs. H says that the proof that she got from Indie Planet felt nice, not newsprint, but a bit rougher than that glossy stuff.
Yep. Yeah. Kablam is a good company out of Florida. They do good work. I've worked with them in the past, and
they're a little overwhelmed at the moment because
right.
Omega Girl issue 2 has been sitting and waiting to be listed for like 2 months.
The 2 printers that I've personally worked with, well, there's actually 3 printers I personally work with. One is a local gal, and she doesn't do bulk at all. It's only small run stuff, and so I won't even bother giving you her name. The other one is I've worked with Comics Wellspring, Greco out of Michigan, and I like they do good work. And Kablam I've worked with, and they do good work too.
Yeah, so. I do like Kablam. I like that they have the platform. They can do the whole kit caboodle. It's just they've been the shortages, I think, and pandemic stuff has hit them hard.
Yeah, and they had some staffing issues, and they had some other stuff too. So
I will say all the books that I printed up thus far, I've actually been going through Mix'em, and they've been doing the quality of the books have been really well done. But I think what I'm trying to do also right now is reach out. There's this local printer near me, which would be incredible because I can actually see them print the books if it works out, and I can actually see the whole process and take videos of it and show it to the socials.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest hope that does happen, and also the cost will come down because I can just print and pick up. I don't have to ship the product.
Yeah, I have some friends of mine who work with a small print house right there in Denver, and they had really liked working with him. So I think if you can get local. So all of our trading cards that we had printed up, my one gal here in Morrill did those for us, and we're going to be eventually sending those out to our backers but I gotta find some time to get all that squared away.
I literally found out recently that there's a actual home office to a I don't know which company it is, but they make baseball cards. They make not like Pokemon cards, like just random trading cards, but not for anything that's like mainstream. Like you can go there and create different types of cards. It's just interesting because like they had like custom ones. People were building like different decks of just like regular playing cards with like different family photos on them and everything. And it's just really fun because I found that I drove past it like I think 2 weeks ago because a new Raising Cane's opened up near me, so I had to go there. Which is a nice fast food place over here. So, but yeah, it was interesting. I found that there's a lot of places that are popping up near me, which is really great.
So, yeah, which is cool. So, okay. So, I don't know. Is Twitless back yet or no? It doesn't look like it. So let's check out if there's anything in the things. Oh, hey, so Mrs. H was talking about doing Kablam fulfillment. We're talking about they're backlogged, and she's blaming Brian. That'd be Brian Ball from Rags.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Because I'm gonna need 1 million of this and 1 million of that. His numbers aren't quite that big, but man, they keep producing stuff. So, like I said, I read Rags 8 today.
It's good.
So good. So good. Everything about it's great.
Brian shouldn't be allowed to write good things like that anymore.
Well, he says he won't. He swears this is his last crossover. So
yeah, so then he went and did like 5 or 6 issues to make it.
Yeah. And that's
and that's not counting this other Sailor Rogowski stuff he has going on that a few of us know about.
Yep. But it's his last crossover, he swears. He was just in my DMs the other day telling me this is the last time. He sent me one of the pages before he got it lettered, and he was just like, that's it, I'm finished. I'm done. Sure you are, man. So, well, guys, it has been almost 2 hours. We should wrap the show up. Scott, your links are actually, I'm going to go ahead and drop both of those in the chat so people can check them out as we go.
I'm gonna have to read Rags 8 tomorrow morning before work.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's
really good. So there you go. There's both of the links should be there. Hopefully, I don't know if they became hypertext or not. I kind of looks like I got mashed together. You know what? That looks like crap. We're gonna see if I can't remove. I can't want to put myself in timeout. Can I?
You did something, that's for sure.
What the heck?
What are you trying to do?
Okay. Chat, tell me if those are links that I put in there. If they made them links.
Okay. Are those real links?
I mean, they're the real URLs, but I'm not sure if they're actually hot links or not.
It's saying that I need to input my social security number.
Right click, open it in a new window. Let me know.
Seems
if it
legit.
works.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're working.
So, okay. Hooray. Excellent. And they will be in the description after the show. Neo says, man, so many people are swearing off. Eric says they work. Excellent. Neo says that so many people are swearing off crossovers that break. I don't think my heart can take it. Courage, man. Courage. That's all I got to say about that. I believe in you. Okay. So, Nick, what do you got going on these days, man? What do you want to let people know before we say goodbye?
Well, I am actually just finishing up Radiant Rapture from the Kickstarter, and going to be sending over the last of the edits over to Matt here to kind of, comb through them and make sure that actually looks good and reads legit. The last set of edits he gave me really helped iron out a lot of things, and he gave some really great in-depth analysis that I was able to articulate the story better. So, big thanks to you, man.
It was great. I told him you needed to draw like 6 more pages.
And I almost got them done. Too. It really, honestly, I was just doing a reread of it today, and I was like, this made it better. It was okay before, but now it's just like, it reads so much better. And then I know me and Tyler are just waiting to finish up the crossover. I'm just waiting for his pages, and then I'm going to letter those. And then it's on to the Clayman and Raven crossover, which I'm having issues. Like, the thing keeps glitching out on me. I'm not really sure what's going on. I keep getting this weird 404 error whenever I try to produce a page. So I'm not sure what's going on. Something's wonky here. So I don't know. Something's going to happen. I don't know what's happening.
So, yeah, that's wild.
But that's it for me.
But, yeah. And Twitless, any day now.
Any day
now.
Any day. Issue 2 is just going to show up, and it'll be available. And then I'm wrapping up issue 3. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen.
And if you want to read some Twitless stuff, that isn't so serious and is readily available, you can go check out superschool.com for free and read a whole bunch of superhero comedy stuff.
Definitely. Speaking of superhero comedy, you can always take a look at Forces of Good and Evil as well.
Oh, look at that. He's plugging my webcomic.
Well,
You can check it out.
mine.
The classic version, as it was more or less originally, has been originally produced since 2006, is available on forceofgoodandevil.net, or you could follow a link on idealcomics.net, which you can get to from Forces, to look at it on Webtoon. I will tell you though, not enough people have read and liked the Webtoon version. So if you try to look up Force of Good and Evil on Webtoon, it's on like page 3 to get to my comic, because that's how many people are on Webtoon. But the Webtoon version is colored and has some art corrections and some new pages, because there were a couple of the old pages that just weren't good enough and I had to redo. So there you have it. I will say eventually, this is a little thing. I don't know if I've told many people this, but I will go and say on the show, hopefully by the end of the year, the first year's worth of Force of Good and Evil stories, which is roughly the first month or so of the in story time, we're going to be collecting into a single manga-sized volume.
Oh,
and that's going to be, we're going to have that for sale somewhere. So
count me in on that one.
Yeah. So you can pick it up. We're going to have it just a little manga-sized digest. So
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Oh, Scott says his internet's bugging out, so he might have to jump on that. That makes sense.
Gotcha.
So a good comic.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but sorry, it's jumping in and out, or I'm skipping for some reason.
We're wrapping up anyway, so we're perfect time for it.
You're still good.
So, okay, we're gonna call it. We're gonna say with that, we're gonna close the show out next week. I believe next week, Cardboard, Matt Kratz, #1 Marmaduke fan, Twitless, and myself going deep into one of my favorite Doug Tnaple comics, and then no more shows until one more show until June, but because I'm taking some time off to write a scholarly paper on Captain Marvel.
Ooh.
So till next time, guys, keep reading comics. Bye. 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 Bye.
Peace out.